I'm Nick. This is Swiftful Thinking, where we cover all things Swift and SwiftUI related. And in the last video, we downloaded this additional coin information from the internet. We're not using it yet. So in this video, we're going to take that new data, we're going to convert it to a bunch of statistic models, which we already have set up from previous videos in this course. And then we're going to display all these new coin data statistics on our detail view, and it's going to look really cool because we're going to be using lazy V-grids. And this is yet another SwiftUI feature that is so incredibly handy and efficient. And I did cover it in the SwiftUI Bootcamp, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, I would recommend going to watch that and then coming on back. But by the end of this video, we're going to have most of the detail view in our app set up.
All right, what's up everyone? So in the last exciting video, we connected our app to a new API where we are downloading some additional detail information for each coin. And now we are on this detail view, and this is when I click on any coin here. And of course we have all this data, but we have not put it onto the screen. So we're going to start building out this screen. And I think it's going to take us like 2 or 3 videos to complete this screen because we're going to do some customization. But let's start by building out at least the easy stuff first. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this initializing print here. In our detail view, let's make it a scroll view. Open the brackets. I'll put a fake text inside for a second. And we're going to add a navigation title. And we want this to be the title of the coin, so we need a reference to the coin. And I just noticed that we passed in the coin, but we actually haven't set it anywhere. I think even in the detail view model, we haven't set it. So in the detail view model, let's say let coin of type coin model. And in here, in our initializer, we'll set self.coin equal to the coin. So now we can just reference this coin inside the model. So let's go back. Navigation title is going to be vm.coin. I'm going to Command-Shift-K to clean and rebuild. It's going to be vm.coin.name. Yeah, that looks like it builds. I'm going to close the simulator quick. And let's actually open up the canvas. Let's click resume on the canvas so we can see what we're doing here. Let's add a VStack. Open the brackets. Let's give it spacing of 20. We need some text here. We don't see the navigation title actually because we're going to be in a navigation view already, but the preview instance is not in a navigation view. So let's make the preview environment the same by adding a navigation view, put our detail view inside. And now we can see, all right, we got Bitcoin coming here. And we're going to add a top section that we don't have yet. So for now, let's just make it a blank text. Let's give it a frame with a height of maybe 150. Just to add like a blank space here, just so we can see how our app's going to look. And then we're going to have 2 main sections in the bottom part of our app. We're going to have a text that says overview. Let's give it a font of title. Let's make it bold. Let's give it a foreground color of color.theme.accent. Our accent color, and let's give it a frame with a max width of infinity, so it's totally as wide as possible. And let's align it to the left side, the leading side. All right, and I want to line it up with this Bitcoin word, so let's add some padding around the VStack, so that should be aligned. We're going to actually have, and below that, let's add a divider. So like a little line. Below that, we're going to have a grid here, and then we're going to have another section. So I'm just going to copy this overview and divider, paste it below, and we'll say additional details. And between the divider and this, we're going to add a grid here. So let's add a lazy V-grid. These are awesome if you haven't used them. I did cover them in the SwiftUI Bootcamp. Let's open it and use the alignment column spacing here. So I'm going to put each of these parameters on a different line. And okay. And we need to add how we want our columns to be set up here. So I'm going to actually make these columns a variable at the top. So we'll say private let We should actually make this state object private as well. So here we'll say private let columns, and it will be a of type array of grid item, which we can see we need grid items here, and we'll set it equal to, we're going to add 2 grid items here. We're going to say grid item, and if we open close parentheses and press the period here, we can make it fixed, flexible, or adaptive. And I covered these in the SwiftUI bootcamp playlist. My favorite is flexible because it will automatically resize. So if we put 1, it's going to adapt 1 size to the entire width of the screen. But if we put 2, it'll be 2 columns basically that are going to be half of the screen each, which is exactly what we want here. So let's take those columns and put that into our lazy V grid. All right. Click resume quick, just to get it to be connected. We can see that they're now in 2 separate columns. All right, and we're gonna put the spacing. Let's actually make that a variable as well. Private var let spacing of type CG float. Let's set it equal to 30. Take that spacing and put it in here. Pin views we're not going to use, so we'll leave it as blank. And then the content is actually going to be, we're going to reuse a component that we already have in our app, which is the statistic view. So we put that on our home page. So for now, we don't actually have this data set up, but let's put a for each here. Let's loop on the range. We'll do 0 ... less than 6. So that will be 6 items. This will be the index, but we actually don't need it. So let's just do underscore here. And let's add a statistic view. And we need to include a stat. And we don't have a stat yet. So let's just create a fake statistic model and give it a title and a value. We'll just put it as title and value. Let's click resume just to see what it's going to look like. Just building out the template here. This looks good. Let's align it to the leading so that they're aligned to the left side of the column. That looks a little bit better to me. And we're going to actually have one more lazy V grid. So I'm going to copy it and put it in the additional details section as well. So our screen's going to have like 2 separate sections here. And we're going to fill it all in with some really cool data now. All right, so for our data, we basically just need an array of statistic model that we can loop on, and then we can just throw them all in the statistic view. And this is going to be super efficient because we can add as many or as few statistic model as we want to this array, and it will just update our view dynamically, which is the power of SwiftUI and is so cool. So let's jump into our detail view model. And in here, we need to create an array. So in our detail view model, we need to create an array of statistic model, but we actually need to create 2 arrays, one for this loop and then one for this loop down here. So let's jump into the detail view model. Let's create, let's do an @published var. We'll call this overview statistics of type array of statistic model. And we'll set it equal to a blank array. And then we'll just do another one. We'll copy and paste it. And this will be called additional statistics, an array of statistic model. And now when we get these returned coin details, we just want to convert these coin details into array of statistic model. All right, so before we call sync, let's actually call .map. And let's transform the CoinDetailModel into some type here. So this will be the CoinDetailModel. And we want it to return, and we actually want it to return 2 separate arrays. So normally we would just put in an array of statistic model here. But this is just one array, and how can we include 2 arrays here? So we can't just put a comma. This is going to throw us an error. But what we could do is create basically a mini model within here. So we'll open the parentheses, and in here we'll call the first one overview of type array of statistic model. And then we'll add a comma and we'll do additional of type array of statistic model. Alright, so we're going to convert the CoinDetail into two separate arrays. And what we're going to get here is actually a single model that includes the overview as well as the additional. So here we'll call this returned arrays. And we could then call returned arrays dot overview as well as returned arrays dot additional. But before we get into that, let's do some mapping here. And I just realized as we're about to do this is we're going to actually need the coin data here as well. So let's also dot combine latest, and we'll combine it with the coin. The coin is not a publisher, so let's actually make it an at published var coin, and we can then subscribe with the money sign. This is going to give us CoinDetailModel as well as coin model. And now we can take this and convert these to arrays. And just to get rid of this error quickly, let's just return two blank arrays. So we'll do return, open the parentheses, we'll do blank array, comma, blank array, just to get rid of the error quickly. And let's set up our overview statistic model first. So we're going to create a blank array, so we'll say var overview array of type array of statistic model, and we'll set it equal to a blank array, and then we'll start appending to it. So the first thing we're going to do is the price. We'll say let price equals the coin model dot price current price, and we need to convert it to a string, so we'll say dot as currency with 6 decimals. We'll say let price change equals the coin model dot price change 24 hour, price change percentage 24 hour. And then let's create our stat. We'll say let price stat equals a statistic model, and we'll use the title value percentage change. Title will say current price, value will be the price, and then percentage change will be the price change. Next, let's say let market cap equals coin model dot market cap, and we'll call dot formatted with abbreviations so that it gets formatted with like the MK or BN for billion. And I believe this is optional. So if we can't get it, let's unwrap it to a blank string. And let's put this in parentheses, and then I actually want to add the money sign in front of it, so we'll do a string with a money sign and then plus. So we'll concatenate, it will add the string with the market cap. Let's say market cap change equals coin model dot market cap change 24 hour, percent change 24 hour. Finally, let's say let market cap stat equals statistic model, open the parentheses, let's use the title, we'll say market capitalization. We'll pass in the market cap as well as the market cap change. Third, we're going to do the rank. We'll say let rank. We'll set it equal to coin model dot rank, and we need to make this a string, so let's actually put it in a string backslash open close parentheses, and then let's say let rank stat equal the statistic model, open the parentheses, and we don't have a percentage here, so we're just going to use the title. We'll say rank, and it will be the rank. Finally, let's do let volume. We'll set this equal to coin model dot volume dot formatted with abbreviations, and just like we did up here for the market cap, let's do 2 question marks with a blank string. Let's put it in parentheses, and I want to add the money sign in front of it, the plus, and then let's say let volume stat equals statistic model With the title, we'll say volume, and the value will say volume as well. Finally, let's append all of these to the array. And we can actually just, instead of creating this blank array up here, let's down here, we'll say let overview array of type array of statistic model. And we'll just set it equal to, so let's get rid of this at the top here, and we'll just set it equal to price stat, comma, market cap stat, comma, rank stat, comma, volume stat. Hopefully some of these yellow bars go away now. Now we have our overview array. We can pass that into the first array that we're going to return here. That's going to be the overview. And then we have one more. We want to do the additional array. So let's put a comment here. This is the overview. And then we'll put a comment here. This is the additional. And we're basically going to do the same thing, create a bunch of statistic models. All right, let's say let high equals coin model dot high 24-hour dot as currency with 6 decimals. And it is optional, so we will, if we can't get it, let's just put NA. And we'll say let high stat equals statistic model. And we'll use the title, we'll say 24H high, 24-hour high, pass in the high. And we're going to do the same thing for the low. We'll say low equals coin model dot low 24-hour dot as currency, 6 decimals, otherwise NA. Let low stat equals statistic model 24H low, pass in the low. We'll say let price change equals coin model dot price change 24-hour. And we'll do dot as currency. We'll make this with 2 decimals because this is the price change. Say otherwise NA. Actually, we should do this with 6 decimals as well, I think. We're getting this error because it conflicts with the previous value. So up here, this price change is actually the price percent change. So that's what we should put here. And then this should be the price change. And then down here, we're going to say let price percent change to. And we're going to set it equal to the same thing that we did up here. And then we'll create a let price change stat equals a statistic model with the title value percentage. Title will say 24H price change. We'll pass in the price change as well as the price change percentage to. Price percent change to, sorry. And then we're going to do let market cap change equals coin model dot market cap change 24-hour. And we'll call dot formatted with abbreviations, otherwise a blank string. Let's put it in parentheses. Let's add the money sign in front of it. Let's do let market cap percent change equals coin model dot market cap change percentage 24-hour. And again, I have this issue because up here, this is actually the market cap percent change. I don't know why I did this. And down here, this is the market cap percent change to. It's basically the same thing as that one. Finally, let's do let market cap change stat equals statistic model title will say 24H market cap change. Value will be market cap change. Percentage change will say market cap percentage change to. I know this is not fun coding, so we're only going to do 2 more, but we could go on for a while because there's so much data we're getting here. So let's just do let block time. And the block time we're actually going to get from the CoinDetailModel. So here we'll say CoinDetailModel dot block time in minutes. If we can't get it, we'll do otherwise 0. And this block time is actually a double, so we want to make it a string. So we'll say let block time string equals, and we'll say if the block time is equal to 0, question mark. So if we couldn't actually get it and it was equal to 0, let's make it NA. Otherwise, let's make it a string with the block time inside. Let's create our stat. Let block stat equals StatisticModel. We'll say block time, and that will be the block time string. And one final one we'll call let hashing equals CoinDetailModel dot hashing algorithm, which is already a string. If we can't get it, we'll give it a blank string, or we'll say NA, and then we'll say let hashing stat equals, and we'll set it equal to a statistic model. We'll use the title of hashing algorithm, and the value will be hashing. Finally, let's create our array. We'll say let additional array of type array of statistic model, and we'll set it equal to an array with all of our new stats here. So we'll do basically everything that just popped up as yellow. So we'll do high stat, low stat, price change stat, market cap change stat, block stat, and block stat, and finally hashing stat. Cool. Now let's take this additional array, also return it here. So we're returning our two arrays that we're going to get from the sync call here. And now let's just make the sync call weak self. And we can get rid of these print statements, and we'll set self.overview statistics equal to returned arrays dot overview, and self.additional statistics equal to returned arrays dot additional. Sweet. Last thing we need to do is reference these two arrays in our view. So go to the detail view, just click resume, make sure we're still connected, and instead of looping from 0 to 6, let's loop on the vm.overview statistics. This will be for each stat, and then we will pass the stat into the statistic view here. Okay, let's click resume, make sure that works. If it works, we should get some pretty cool stats. Cool. And it looks like it's all formatted perfectly. And we're going to do one more down here. So the for each is going to loop on vm.additional statistics for each stat. And we'll pass it in here. Let's resume this. And it looks like the additional details has also set up and working. We got our block times 10, I think those are 10 minutes. We could probably customize that in a second. The hashing algorithm, we got our some percent changes. This is looking really cool. Let's do a little bit of cleanup before we end the video. So let's pull, so this body is looking pretty long, so let's pull some of this out. So I'm going to take the overview title here, I'm going to cut it. Let's go to the bottom, let's create an extension of the detail view. Let's create a private var, we'll say overview title of type some view. Let's paste that in. Let's create another one, private var additional title of type some view. Let's go up and get our additional title, paste that in down here. Let's put those above the divider. We'll do the overview title, and above this divider we'll do the additional title. Let's do the same thing with our grid. So I'll cut this grid, and down here let's put a private var overview grid of type some view. Paste in our lazy v grid, and then private var additional grid of type some view. Let's take our lazy v grid, paste that in down here. It's just to clean this up a little bit. And underneath this divider is the overview grid. Underneath this one is the additional grid. You guys should be used to all of this by now, and obviously it's pretty obvious why I do this, I think at least, because now this body is nice and readable. Let's click resume to make sure this still is connecting and working. Looks good. The last thing I want to do is in the detail view model. Let's jump into it. This map function got really long and ugly, so let's move some of this code outside of this map function. So the function we need to make has parameters. It takes in a detail model as well as a coin model, and then it returns this type here. So I'm going to copy this type. Let's go down to the bottom. We'll say private func map data to statistics. Open close parentheses, open the brackets. Let's have it return that type that I just copied with two different arrays, and let's have it input. The input will be the details of type CoinDetailModel and coin of type CoinModel. Alright, so I'm going to go up and I'm going to copy all of this code here. And let's paste that in down here. So this should now get rid of our error. And it looks like we actually changed the name of the coin. So let's call this coin model. And the details, let's call it coin detail model like we had before. Sorry about that. That should get rid of our errors. And the coin detail model was actually optional, so let's make it optional here as well. Alright, gets rid of our errors. And let's move back up. First, let's change out this map. We'll call .map. We'll call map data to statistics. And we can get rid of these parameters. Let's get rid of this second map function. So our subscriber code is nice and neat. And now down here, let's actually clean up this function a little bit further. I want to separate the overview from the additional code. So I'm going to create a function for the overview and then another one for the additional. And so down here, let's say func create overview array, and open close parentheses, open the brackets. And this array needs to return an array of coin model. And let's go up here and we will cut the overview here, and I'll paste it in down here. So this will be all of the overview code. At the bottom, let's just return the overview array like we have. And we need a coin model. So let's pass in here coin model of type coin model. And this error should go away. Sorry, we need to return statistic model here. I'm losing it a little bit. It is 3 a.m., so I'm a little bit tired, and probably the last video of the night for me. And then let's do one more. So let's cut this additional array. Let's create a func create additional array. Open close parentheses. This will return an array of statistic model. And we'll open the brackets, paste in the additional code. And at the bottom, we'll just return the additional array. And we need to pass in the coin model as well as the coin detail model. So I'm going to copy our inputs from up here, from our map data to statistics. Let's just paste in the same inputs down here. All these errors should go away. And we actually don't need to call this price change 2 anymore. So we'll just call it price change, and we'll get rid of the 2, as well as down here, we'll get rid of the 2. Let's make this private because we're only going to access it from within this class. Let's make this private. And we need to create these arrays. So we'll say let overview array equals create overview array. We'll pass in our coin model. And additional array, we'll say let additional array equals create additional array. We'll pass in our coin detail model as well as our coin model. And this code looks much more readable now. The error should go away. I just absolutely love how short our subscribers code is, because if someone else came and looked at our code, all they would have to do is look at this and they would understand what's going on. We're taking our coin details, we're taking our coin, we are mapping them into statistics, we're getting those returned arrays, and then we're setting it up on our view. So let's build and run this one final time for this video, and hopefully everything is working. Alright, so I got the app here. I'm going to click on Bitcoin. We have the Bitcoin title. We have our overview section. We have the price, market cap, volume, rank is number 1. And we scroll down, we have additional details. It looks like they're all pulling in, the block time. Let's just go to another screen quick. Maybe Polkadot. It's a good one. Current price, additional details. I guess the block time's not pulling in for this one. But it looks like we are fetching our data from the database. Chain link, another good one. And I guess block time doesn't always pull in, but we are pulling in this data, and it is looking pretty good. I love our color scheme here in the dark mode. I think it looks awesome. That's it for this video. We set up the bulk of this view, and in the next video we're going to actually set up the top section here. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. As always, I'm Nick. This is Swiftful Thinking. It is 3 a.m., so I'm going to bed, but then I will see you in the next video.